Lyra stood alone on the high cliff, her small figure almost lost against the endless sky. The wind was cold, sharp, and carried the smell of dust from the wide, empty valley below. She did not move. She did not sit. She only waited, like she had done every year, on the same day, at the same time. This place was her waiting place, a place where hope refused to die even when everything else had. Years had passed since her parents disappeared, but Lyra could not forget the last moment she saw them. They had stood with her in this exact spot. They were scientists, explorers of old alien ruins. They were excited that day. They had discovered something strange in the ground, something that glowed under the rocks, something alive. They said they were close to unlocking a new secret of the planet. But before they could explain anything, the sky broke open. A storm came from nowhere, full of cracking light and spinning dust. Her parents had pushed her back, shouting for her to run. She remembered their faces filled with fear. Then the storm swallowed them, and when the storm passed, they were gone. Since that day, Lyra returned here every year. She was older now, but the memory felt as sharp as the wind around her. She knew the others in her village thought she was foolish. They said no one survives a storm like that. They said this cliff was cursed. They said this place should be forgotten. But Lyra could not forget. She believed her parents were still out there, somewhere, somehow, and she believed this place was the key. The cliff was strange. It was always quiet, but sometimes the ground hummed. Sometimes the rocks glowed softly for a moment. Sometimes the air felt like a whisper passing beside her. Locals tried to explain it as old energy left over from ancient civilizations, but Lyra felt something more. She felt her parents here, like an echo. Today, as she stepped onto the cliff, she felt something different. The air felt heavier, almost charged. The ground under her boots vibrated, very faint, but enough to make her heart beat faster. She walked to the edge and looked up at the sky. The sun was bright, but thin white clouds drifted across it. Nothing moved. Nothing made sound except the wind. She waited. Minutes passed, then an hour. Lyra sighed, feeling that familiar ache in her chest. She closed her eyes. Her parents' voices came into her mind, her mother's soft laugh, her father's warm tone. She would give anything to hear them again. A sudden deep hum broke the silence. Lyra's eyes shot open. This hum was not from the ground, it was coming from the sky. She turned and looked up. A small dark shape appeared above the clouds. It moved fast, cutting through the air with a trail of light behind it. Lyra's breath caught. It was not a storm. It was not alien. It was something she had never seen in this part of the world. It was a ship, but not one from her people, not a design she recognized. The shape was sharp and metallic. Bright engines glowed at its back. The ship slowed as it came closer to the cliff. Lyra stumbled backward. No one from her region used this kind of technology. No alien group that she knew used this flight pattern. It was too smooth, too clean, too advanced in a different way. Her heart raced. She had seen this kind of ship only in old stories, only in off-world records. Human ships. But humans never came this far into her planet's forgotten regions. They stayed in the trade zones and science stations. This area was abandoned, ignored, and believed dangerous. Why would a human ship come here? The ship lowered slowly, pushing dust and small rocks away from its engine wind. Lyra covered her face against the blast. The ground shook. The ship landed on the flat ground of the cliff with a heavy thud. Her throat went dry. This was wrong. This was strange. This was impossible. The ship door hissed open, steam escaping from the sides. Lyra froze. The air felt even heavier now, as if something important was about to begin. A long shadow appeared in the doorway. Then a figure stepped out. A human. Tall, armored, carrying a small device that blinked with blue lights. The man looked around slowly, scanning the area as if searching for something. His eyes moved across the rocks, the dust, the broken ground. Then they landed on her. He stared. Lyra felt her heart jump into her throat. Why was a human looking for her? How did he even know this place existed? The man took a small step forward. His voice was calm but full of purpose. I finally found you. Lyra's breath stopped. Found her? Why? How? She tried to speak, but no words came out. The man continued. Your parents, they sent a signal. It led me here. Lyra felt the world spin. A signal? After all these years? She took one shaky step back as the wind blew across the cliff. The human looked at her with a steady, serious expression. We don't have much time, he said. Something is waking up under this place. And then the ground vibrated again, stronger this time, much stronger. The waiting place was no longer quiet. Something beneath it was stirring, something connected to her parents, something waiting for her. The ground trembled again, stronger than before, and small stones rolled across the cliff floor. Lyra looked down, frightened, but the human man did not step back. Instead, he slowly raised the device in his hand. Blue lines flashed across its screen like waves. It's starting again, he said quietly, just like the signal warned. Lyra's voice finally broke free from her throat. What signal? You said my parents sent something. How? The man nodded slowly. My name is Captain Aaron Hale. I'm an explorer from the Human Frontier Fleet. 2 weeks ago, we received a strange coded message. The message was weak, very old, but it followed a pattern used by your people long ago. It also had your family name. Lyra's eyes widened. My family name? She could barely breathe. Then, they are alive? Aaron looked at her with a careful, controlled expression. The signal was sent many years ago. It might not mean they are alive now, but it means one thing for sure. Your parents found something important here, something they wanted someone to find. Lyra felt hope and fear fighting inside her chest. The ground beneath them vibrated again, softer this time, like a heartbeat. How did you find this place? No humans come here. No one does. Aaron tapped the device. The signal gave a location, a point on the map, and when I came closer, my scanner picked up strange energy readings under the ground, readings your people call forbidden zones. Lyra nodded slowly. Everyone in her region knew about forbidden zones, places filled with old, ancient machines buried by civilizations lost before history. Places people feared because no one understood the power sleeping inside them. Aaron continued, your parents were not lost in a simple storm. Something pulled them into the ground, something connected to this place. Lyra swallowed hard. I always knew this spot was different. I could feel something here, like they were close. Aaron looked at her with a gentler expression. The signal did not only call for help, it mentioned you. Lyra's heart skipped. Me? Yes, he said. It said, if anyone finds this message, bring our daughter. She is the key.
The ancient door opened with a deep, echoing sound that shook the entire chamber. Dust drifted down from the ceiling as Lyra and Captain Aaron stepped back. A wave of cold air flowed out from the darkness behind the door, carrying a faint metallic smell, old, forgotten, untouched for years. Lyra's heart beat so fast she felt it in her throat. This place, this room, she could feel her parents' presence here, like a memory trapped in the walls. What is this place? She whispered. Aaron scanned the air. Blue waves danced across his device. It's a sealed research facility, very old, but there is something active inside. Lyra swallowed. Active? After all these years? Aaron nodded. Yes, someone kept the power alive. Lyra stepped forward. Fear tried to pull her back, but hope pushed her onward. She entered the dark room. As soon as her foot touched the floor, lights flickered to life, one by one, forming a long path into the chamber. Aaron followed close behind her, his hand near his weapon, not out of fear of her, but fear of the unknown. The room slowly brightened. Strange machines stood on each side like tall metallic guardians. Their surfaces were covered with symbols. Symbols Lyra recognized from her parents' research notes. They glowed faintly, as if welcoming her. She whispered, "Mother, Father, what were you studying here?" At the end of the path, a single large console sat on a raised platform. Its screen flickered weakly like a dying star. Lyra walked up to it and touched the edge carefully. Suddenly, the screen flashed bright. A familiar voice filled the room. Her father's voice. "Lyra, if you are hearing this, it means we failed to return." Lyra froze, her eyes growing wide. Aaron lowered his head, giving her space. The image on the screen slowly stabilized. It showed Lyra's and parents, tired, nervous, standing in this very room. Her mother's hands shook as she spoke. "We discovered a machine here," her mother said. "It is not from our time, it belongs to the ancients, the ones who built the first cities before our history began." Her father continued, "This machine, it can open a rift, a doorway to another dimension, a place where time moves differently." Lyra felt her breath tremble. "A rift?" she whispered. Aaron looked at her. "Maybe your family line carries something special, a genetic key." Her mother continued speaking. "We will keep trying to send signals, but the rift weakens us. If we cannot return, please know we love you more than anything." The video ended. The screen went dark. Lyra dropped to her knees. The chamber felt too big, too cold. Her parents were alive then, trapped in another dimension, lost in a place where time meant nothing. Aaron knelt beside her. His voice was soft. "I'm sorry, but this means they might still be alive. Time moves differently there. They may not have aged at all." Lyra wiped her tears. "Then we must open the rift. We must save them." Aaron shook his head slowly. "Lyra, you saw the warning. This machine is dangerous. It could collapse the mountain, destroy this entire region. If the rift becomes unstable, I don't care," she said, her voice hard and steady. "They waited for me. I will not leave them." Aaron studied her face. In her eyes, he saw the same determination he had seen in many humans, the kind that never gave up, even when the universe turned dark. He stood up. "Then we do it together." They approached the machine at the center of the room. It stood like a giant crystal structure, hovering above the ground, filled with swirling lights. The air around it felt thick, almost alive. Blue currents floated inside the structure like trapped stars. Lyra stepped forward. The machine reacted instantly. The lights inside it grew brighter, spinning faster, humming louder. The ground shook as the energy built up. Aaron gripped his scanner. "Energy rising fast. It's linking to you." Lyra placed her hand on the smooth surface of the machine. A sudden warmth shot through her arm. Her mind filled with images, flashes of her parents in a swirling storm, reaching out, calling her name. Her heart tightened. "I can hear them," she whispered. The machine roared to life. Bright light burst from its center, shooting into the ceiling like a beam of power. The chamber trembled, rocks fell around them. The machines lit up, their ancient symbols glowing like fire. Aaron shouted, "Lyra, stop! It's too much!" Lyra did not move. She could feel the rift opening. She could feel the doorway forming. She could feel her parents' presence growing stronger. The machine released a shockwave that knocked Aaron off his feet. The light expanded into a swirling vortex, a portal made of blue fire and bending space. Lyra stared into it,
tears streaming down her face. Her parents were inside, alive, waiting. The rift pulsed like a heartbeat, calling her forward. Aaron stood up, shielding his eyes. "Lyra, the portal is unstable. If you enter, you may not return." Lyra took a slow breath. "I have to try." She stepped toward the glowing rift. The chamber roared. The portal opened wide, and darkness reached out to pull her in.
The chamber shook violently as the portal spun faster and faster, its blue light bending the air around it like liquid glass. Lyra stood at the edge, her heart racing so fast she could feel it in her throat. She could hear the low hum of the ancient machines, like they were alive, responding to her presence. The rift was calling her, pulling her forward with an invisible force. Captain Aaron grabbed her arm, steadying her. "Lyra, wait! The portal is unstable. If we go in now, we might never come back." Lyra shook her head. "I can't wait anymore. I've waited my whole life for this. My parents are in there." Aaron's eyes softened. He knew there was no stopping her. "Then we go together. Stay close to me." She nodded, swallowing the fear that threatened to freeze her in place. They stepped toward the portal. The light wrapped around them like a living thing, and the world outside the chamber disappeared. The air felt thick and heavy, yet weightless at the same time. The moment they entered, everything changed. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, they all vanished into a swirl of color. Blue, white, and silver twisted together, like stars being spun into a river of light. Lyra felt herself falling, spinning, and floating all at once. Her breath caught in her throat. Aaron's voice echoed around her. "Hold on, Lyra! Keep moving forward!" A shadow flickered in the distance, moving faster than her eyes could follow. Something was coming, something alive, but not from any world she knew. The shape twisted, stretched, and disappeared into the currents of light. Lyra felt its presence like a cold hand brushing against her mind. She froze for a moment, paralyzed with fear. Aaron grabbed her hand firmly. "Don't stop! The rift is unstable and it's pulling everything in its path. We have to reach the light ahead." She nodded, forcing her legs to move. The golden glow ahead grew brighter and warmer with every step. The voices came first, soft, echoing, familiar. "Lyra! Her parents!" Her heart leaped. She ran faster, the currents of the rift whipping past her like icy wind. The dark shape lunged again, a shadow that seemed to bend reality itself. Lyra kicked against it, but her foot passed through nothing but darkness. Aaron fired his wrist blaster and a flash of light cut through the shadow. It shrieked, a sound that reverberated in Lyra's chest, then disappeared back into the swirling darkness. "Almost there!" Aaron shouted. "The light is close!" Lyra's tears blurred her vision, but she focused on the warmth ahead. Each step felt heavier, like the rift was testing her resolve, trying to push her back. The shadow moved again, faster, closer, and she felt its cold energy brush her shoulder. Her parents' voices grew louder. They were calling her, guiding her. Hope surged through her veins. She stretched out her hands. The golden light enveloped her. She could feel it pulling her forward, lifting her, carrying her. Aaron followed immediately, holding her tightly, their steps synchronized. The shadow tried one last time to stop them. Tendrils of darkness lashed out, twisting and spinning around their legs, trying to drag them backward. Lyra screamed, gripping Aaron's arm with all her strength. He fired again, and the light of the blaster burned through the shadow, forcing it to retreat. Finally, they reached the heart of the golden glow. The rich currents calmed for a moment, as if the light had formed a safe pocket. And there, in the center, Lyra saw them, her parents, standing alive, looking exactly as she remembered them. They were calm, almost frozen, but their eyes lit up when they saw her. Her mother gasped and ran towards her, tears streaming down her face. "Lyra, you came!" her mother cried. Her father's hands reached out. "We knew you would find us!" Lyra ran into their embrace, holding them tightly. Years of fear, worry, and loneliness melted away. "I thought you lost you forever," she whispered, her voice breaking.
Aaron stood a few steps behind them, scanning the rift. "We don't have much time. The portal is unstable. If we linger too long, it could collapse entirely." Lyra nodded, releasing her parents but keeping them close. The golden light around them pulsed violently. The dark shadow from the tunnel appeared again, its form massive, curling like smoke through the rift. Aaron grabbed Lyra's hand. "Stay close! We jump together!" With one last look at her parents, Lyra took a deep breath. "Let's go!" The rift roared, spinning faster, threatening to tear them apart. With a combined effort, they jumped toward the edge of the glowing light. The shadow reached for them, but the golden energy protected them like a shield, pushing it back. The world exploded in light, sound, and energy. Lyra felt herself being pulled, twisted, and thrown, but Aaron held her hand. Her parents followed closely, guided by the same force. And then, silence. Lyra opened her eyes. They were standing on solid ground. The rift had collapsed behind them. The chamber was quiet again. The air smelled of dust and metal, and the faint hum of the ancient machines had returned, soft and steady. Her parents were safe. She was safe. And Aaron, the human who had brought them here, was watching them with relief in his eyes. Lyra looked at the sky through the small opening in the chamber. It was quiet, peaceful, for now. But she knew, deep down, that the universe was still full of mysteries, dangers, and signals waiting to be heard. And for the first time in years, she felt hope. Not just for herself, but for humanity too.
The chamber was quiet again, but the air felt different, lighter, almost alive. Lyra stood in the center, holding her parents' hands, her heart still racing from the journey through the rift. She could feel their warmth, their presence, and the proof that hope had never been wasted. Captain Aaron watched them with a quiet smile. "We made it," he said. "All of us." Lyra turned to him. "Thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you." Aaron shrugged. "Humans never give up. That's what we do. We find a way. We keep going." Her mother hugged her tightly. "We always believed you would come for us, Lyra. You gave us hope, even when we thought all was lost." Her father nodded, tears in his eyes. "And you proved that even in the darkest place, hope can light the way." But the moment of peace was short. The chamber trembled slightly, reminding them that the ancient machines were still alive, still watching. The collapsed rift had left unstable energy in the walls. Aaron checked his device. "The energy is dissipating, but not completely. We need to get out now, before it destabilizes completely." Lyra nodded and led her parents toward the exit. The path was quiet compared to the chaos of the rift, but the glowing symbols on the walls pulsed softly as if acknowledging their presence. When they reached the cliff above the chamber, sunlight broke across the horizon. The sky was calm, but the world felt new, different. Lyra's parents looked around, blinking in surprise at the cliff they had once stood on years ago. "I can't believe we are back," her mother whispered. "It feels like we never left." Lyra smiled, tears in her eyes. "Because I never stopped believing you would return. I waited, and it worked." Aaron looked at the horizon. "Earth ships will be arriving soon. They detected the energy surge from the rift. We're not alone out here anymore." Lyra's father placed a hand on her shoulder. "You've done more than just save us, Lyra. You've bridged worlds. You've shown what courage and hope can do, even when the universe seems against you." Lyra's eyes shone with pride and relief. "I only did what I had to. I couldn't let you stay trapped. I couldn't give up." Aaron nodded. "That's humanity. We don't give up. Even when the odds are impossible, we keep searching. We keep helping. That's why we're here." The sky above them shifted as distant human ships appeared, gliding silently across the atmosphere.
The humans would study the rift energy, investigate the ancient machines, and learn what Lyra and her parents had discovered. But for now, Lyra only cared about one thing: being with her family again. She hugged her mother and father tightly. The long years of waiting, the endless hope, and the fear of loss, all of it melted away. They were together, safe, alive. Aaron smiled at them, stepping back. The universe is full of mysteries, Lyra. Some are dangerous, some are beautiful. Some will test your courage, but humanity will always keep moving forward. Lyra looked at him and nodded. I understand. We all have to keep moving forward. Together. The wind blew across the cliff, carrying the scent of the valley below. Birds circled in the morning sky. For the first time in years, Lyra felt free, not just from the rift, but from fear. She had waited, she had hoped, and she had acted. The universe had tested her, and she had passed. Her mother smiled. What now, Lyra? Lyra looked at the horizon, at the rising sun, and at the vast unknown stretching before them. Now we live, we explore, and we never stop believing. Aaron stepped forward. And if the universe calls again, we'll be ready. Lyra's parents nodded. Together, they watched the sky, the light reflecting in their eyes. They had survived the impossible, reunited against all odds, and witnessed the courage of a human who never gave up. Lyra whispered, almost to herself, humans never give up. And at that moment, the universe seemed to listen. Because hope, courage, and persistence had returned to the cliff, because one human had answered the call, and because in the vastness of space, even the smallest spark of determination could light the way for everyone. Lyra smiled. The waiting was over. The adventure had only just begun.
The great hall of the Galactic Council stood, high above the shining city of Vexilon Prime. It was a place where leaders of 23 alien species gathered to speak, argue, and make laws. But today, the hall was silent, too silent. Even the air felt heavy, as if the whole world held its breath. Councillor Threx of the Vornak Empire sat in his tall metal chair with his sharp claws tapping nervously on the armrest. He had lived more than 200 years. He had seen many wars, many threats, but nothing made him shiver like the message they had received. Just 1 hour ago, humanity had returned. Across the long round table, Councillor Lyria of the Ilerie tried to steady her voice as she said, "There must be a mistake. Humans cannot be here. They vanished long ago." "Vanished does not mean dead," replied Threx. His voice was low and flat. "Humans always return. This is their nature." The other council members exchanged fearful looks. Stories about humans were old, very old. Some said humans were once allies. Others said humans were monsters born from fire and war. Every species had its own memory, its own fear. Before anyone could speak again, the hall doors burst open. A council guard ran inside, panting hard. His armor was cracked. His eyes were wide with terror. "They are here," he gasped. "Human ships, thousands of them. They have arrived." The hall exploded into chaos. Voices shouted. Chairs scraped. Some councillors stood. Some hid behind other members. The guard raised a shaking hand and continued. "Their flagship is massive. It blocks half the sun." And they sent a message. Silence fell against cold and sharp. "What message?" Threx demanded. The guard swallowed. His voice cracked. "One mission. Total elimination." Gasps filled the room. Lyria covered her mouth. Another councillor whispered. "They want to destroy us. All of us." "No," Threx said slowly. "Humans never say things without meaning. If they speak of elimination, they have chosen a target. But who? Why now?" Before he could finish, loud sirens blared across the hall deep, echoing warnings. The floor trembled as the planet's defense shields activated. Red lights flashed across the walls. Security drones dropped from the ceiling. The council knew what this meant. Humanity was not sending a small scout ship. They had arrived with an army. The main screen in the center of the hall flickered to life. A hologram appeared, an image from the orbital cameras. The room fell silent again as everyone stared up. A human warship dominated the screen. It was black, angular, and so enormous that its shadow covered half of the planet's upper atmosphere. Strange glowing symbols ran along the ship's sides. No one could read them. No one understood human language anymore. But the symbols felt like a warning. "Activate long-range comms." Lyria ordered. "I already did," replied the screen operator. "But humans are jamming all signals." Threx leaned forward. "Then they do not want to talk. They came prepared. They came to end something." Everyone heard the word end, and fear grew even stronger. Suddenly, the hall shook again, this time harder. A deep boom rolled through the building. Dust fell from the ceiling. Several counselors screamed. "What was that?" Lyria yelled. The guard shouted. A human drop pod landed outside the city. It broke through our atmospheric shield like it was nothing. Threx stood up. "Show us the landing zone." The screen changed. Now it showed a smoking crater outside the city walls. Flames burned around the edges. The ground was cracked open. Deep and black dot. Then the metal door of the drop pod hissed open. The counselors leaned forward. A dark figure stepped out. Slow, calm, completely unafraid. A human, tall, armored, face hidden behind a helmet. Light reflecting off metal that looked too advanced, too strong for any weapon the council knew. The human looked around the burning crater, as if taking a quiet walk in a park. Then it lifted a small device to its helmet. The council hall speakers crackled. A voice spoke through them, cold, steady, emotionless. "Phase 1 complete. Awaiting further targets." Every council member froze. The voice was not angry. It was not loud. It was simply calm. Too calm. And that calmness was more terrifying than any threat. Lyria whispered, "What are they planning? What is Phase 1? Threx stared at the screen. "It means they are following a plan. A plan they made long before today." "But why?" another counselor asked. "We never harmed them. We never attacked them." Threx's eyes narrowed. "Are you sure?" Before any answer came, the speakers crackled again. This time a deeper voice spoke, a commander's voice. "Galactic Council," it said, "you hid your crimes well, but not well enough." Lyria's heart stopped. "Crimes," Threx said softly. "What crimes?" The human commander continued. "Today, we end what was started long ago. Today, justice begins." The message ended. The screen went black. Silence swallowed the hall. No one moved. No one breathed. Because for the first time in 1,000 years, the council understood something terrible. Humans did not come for war. Humans came for vengeance. And vengeance was always worse. Panic spread across Vexilon Prime like a fast-moving storm. Every city screen, every news channel, and every communication tower repeated the same message: humanity had returned. And they came with a mission no one understood. Inside the Great Hall, the council members still stood frozen after hearing the human commander's final words. "Today, justice begins." The words echoed in their minds again and again. Councillor Lyria felt her legs shake. She took a slow breath and tried to calm herself. "We need information," she said. "We cannot act blindly." What did they mean by crimes? What justice? Threx nodded. "We must find out their true target before they destroy our defenses." But even as he spoke, another alarm blasted through the hall. The lights dimmed, then flickered back on. A screen operator shouted, "Human troops are moving. They have taken control of Sector 9. "What?" Lyria gasped. "Sector 9 is a military zone. It has fortress walls." "Not anymore," the operator whispered. The walls, they fell in seconds. The entire room felt colder. The screen switched to a live view of Sector 9. Smoke filled the sky. Automated defense turrets were crushed like toys. Tanks and armored crawlers lay scattered in pieces, metal twisted and burning. Human soldiers walked through the smoke with calm steps. Their armor reflected the fires around them. Their movements were fast, sharp, perfect to perfect, as if machines were guiding them. Threx leaned forward, studying the footage. Their technology is far beyond ours. Their speed, their strength. This is not how humans fought in ancient wars. It is like they evolved into something stronger. Lyria whispered, "Something we cannot stop." A loud beep came from the screen operator's console. "Incoming message," he said, but it is not for us. It is a message sent to their own troops. "Play it," Threx ordered. The hall speakers activated again, and a calm female voice spoke. "Phase 2 has begun. Secure the perimeter. Do not engage civilians. Target only marked structures. Justice must stay clean. The message ended. The council members exchanged confused looks. Marked structures. Lyria said, "What does that mean? They are choosing targets. Why only some?" Threx rubbed his chin. "They are not attacking randomly. They have a map, a plan." Another counselor, an old creature with 4 silver eyes, spoke with a shaking voice. "If they wanted to destroy us all, they would have fired from orbit. They could destroy the entire planet in minutes. But they are not doing that. They are walking, searching." Lyria swallowed. "Then what are they searching for?" Before anyone could answer, the doors opened again. A young council assistant entered, holding a small hologram crystal. "Counselors," he said, "we found something. It was hidden in the archive." He placed the crystal onto the table. A hologram appeared, a record almost 500 years old. The hologram showed a meeting. Old council members sat in the same hall, discussing something in low, urgent voices, and then a symbol appeared on the screen behind them, a symbol of Earth. Lyria's heart dropped. "This record, why is it hidden?" the assistant whispered. "Because it tells a story the council did not want anyone to know." The hologram continued. An old council member said, "The humans discovered our secret mining program on their moon. They want answers. If they learn the truth, we lose power. So we must act first." Another council member nodded. "Yes, erase them. Erase their home. No witnesses." Lyria covered her mouth in horror. 500 years ago, the council had ordered a strike on Earth, a secret attack, a silent betrayal. Earth did not vanish. Earth was destroyed. Threx whispered, We did this. Our council destroyed their home world." The assistant nodded. "Yes, and the survivors fled into deep space. No one knew what happened next." Threx closed his eyes. "Now we know. They rebuilt themselves. They learned the truth, and they returned for justice." Lyria felt a heavy weight in her chest. They are not here to kill everyone. They are here to find the races who destroyed their world, the races who hid the truth. Suddenly the screen showing Sector 9 changed again. A new human message flashed across it. "Target structure found. Begin extraction." A huge human machine tall as a tower walked toward a black building. The building had no windows, no signs, only one door. Threx stared at it. "I know this place. It is not a military base. It is an old archive vault." Lyria felt sick. Another hidden secret. But before they could think further, the ground trembled. A single human ship descended from the sky. It hovered above the vault and activated a bright blue beam. The beam cut through the roof like soft paper. "They are taking something," the operator shouted. The vault,